besties, my name is Maddie and welcome back to my channel. So besties, I have not done one of these in a very long time, so we are doing a monthly wrap-up times 3 basically. So I have my June, July, and August wrap-up all in this little video here. So there are going to be 27 books in this wrap-up. So get yourself a little drink, get yourself a little snack, get nice and cozy because this one could be a bit. I'm in my chair, I got my blanket, I have my iPad, I have all my books in front of me because, you know, I can't remember what I read yesterday, let alone 3 months ago now. So it's gonna be a little chaotic, a little crazy, a little not well informational. We're just gonna get right to it and kind of see how this goes. So I'm gonna go month by month and hopefully that'll help me understand it a little bit better. Okay, so let's start off in June, shall we? So I read 8 books in June, and let's go through them. Should I get them and put them up? No, we'll leave them on the ground for right now, and I'll pick them up as I go. So the first book that I read in June was The Orphanage by the Lake by Daniel G. Miller. I read this book 3.5 stars. I read it for a book club, and it just wasn't my vibe, I don't think. It was written by a man. Already, red flag, just kidding. And I just felt the way he portrayed our FMC, I didn't vibe with, I didn't like. And I just didn't really vibe with how he wrote her. I thought she was kind of insufferable at times. It didn't seem like she really knew what was going on at all. I get it's like a mystery thriller, but just wasn't my vibe. So basically we're following our FMC and she is hired as a private investigator for this orphanage that has all these girls and they all keep going missing sporadically, but enough to where it's kind of questionable. So she's going to go in and investigate kind of what's going on. You can guess the ending from page 1 basically. It's not thought-provoking. It wasn't it for me. I really truly guessed what was going to happen at the end. I was thrown off by like one character, but that was basically it. And I'm not a good guesser, okay? I don't catch a single thing. I'm reading for vibes only, and usually I read a thriller book and I am like, oh, each chapter I'm like, this is so exciting. This one, no, wasn't it for me. Folks, we're not starting off that great. Okay, then the second book I read in June was Under the Whispering Door by T.J. Klune, and I rated this book 3.5 stars as well. I felt like it dragged on, and I think I really liked the end, if I'm remembering correctly. So this follows our main character, Wallace, and he isn't very liked. I don't think he doesn't really have much going for him. Well, he does have stuff. He's kind of boring. Not just kind of living his life, you know, not real important, I guess you could say. He doesn't treat people in his life kindly, and he ends up having a heart attack and dies. And then he wakes up in the afterlife where he's gonna be like in between worlds, between like heaven. I don't know if that's what he would go to. I don't know what that is, but he's in between, okay? And there he meets this guy who kind of helps souls travel to like their final resting place, I guess you could say. And there he's gonna kind of realize that he needs to be a good person. Basically the gist of the story. It's really cute. I had a good time with it. Just that I believe the beginning and the middle dragged on, and I loved the ending of it, but not enough to like rate it any higher. And that's basically the gist of it, and I feel like it's pretty good for me remembering it from so long ago. So, I mean, it had a cute premise, and I'm glad I read it because I loved The House on the Cerulean Sea. Loved that book, but this one just wasn't as hard-hitting, I guess, for me. Then I read The Temporary Roomie by Sarah Adams. I read this book 4 stars, and this follows our 2 main characters, and she is pregnant, and he is a doctor. I feel like a doctor is not important to this at all, and she ends up having to live with him because something happens to her house. Obviously they can't stand each other. I think it's like best friend's brother. Yeah, it's her best friend's brother. Yeah, I'm almost positive that's how it goes. You know, the animosity, they can't stand each other. I really like that it's not his baby, you know. I think that's really exciting, but you know, basically that's just the gist of it. I had a good time with it. I thought it was fun. I love Sarah Adams' writing. I feel like it's easy to get through. They're like a great little palate cleanser, and I needed a book after the first 2 books that I read in June to kind of like get me out of my slump that I was already starting to slowly get into. And I feel like Sarah Adams' books always kind of helps me out of those. So it was fun. It was a good time. It made me giggle. I don't think there was any spice in this one that I remember or that I can recall. I don't think there's any spice in it at all. And it was cute, and I had a good time with it. You know, I should have picked these books up because, you know, I do have these books. I just forget. Okay, here it is in case we care. We're gonna put that on the bed. Then I read Enchantra by Kaylee Smith, and I rated this book 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed this one. I don't think I liked it as much as Phantasma, but I still really loved it. I think the only thing that was kind of throwing me off is I was a little confused for some reason on the characters because there were so many at the beginning that I remember having to like ask my sister and be like, who are these people? Because I am lost. So basically this follows our FMC, and she receives a letter in the mail that's written to her mom. Her mom is corresponding with someone, and her mom is no longer Earthside. And she decides that she she's going to go to the address that this letter is from. When she goes there, this man opens the door and he's like, you have to get out of here, basically. And she's like, no, you're not gonna tell me what to do. Goes inside, and now she's in this magical game of maybe like hide and seek, I guess you could say, because each sibling gets to pick a different game, and if you like survive the night, you get something at the end. And it's basically that. I was just very confused with all the characters. I loved our MMC. Don't ask me what his name is. I don't remember it at all. I remember really liking, I'm almost positive he has a lip ring. Does he have a lip ring? I think he does. I don't know, maybe I made that up. But it was really a lot of fun. Again, I loved the trials and stuff, just like how Phantasma had like all like the little levels that they had to get through. I found it so much fun. Highly recommend. And I listened to it, and the audiobook was so good. Then I got an arc for Goalie by McKay Marie. I read this book 4.5 stars, and this one was so much fun. Like, the spice had me sweating. So this follows our two main characters, Lennon and Luke. Lennon is a college goalie, and Luke is her hockey coach, basically. And he got injured, so he's no longer playing hockey, and he's trying to like find his groove again. And the coach right now at the hockey team like has helped him or something like that. So she ends up reaching out to him like, hey, I have a position on my team. Can you come help me coach these girls? And he's like, of course I can. I'm gonna hate every single second of it though. So when he gets there, he doesn't want this job. He doesn't care about these girls, and Lennon truthfully wants to be the best that she can be. And he is kind of brushing her off, doesn't really care. And obviously as they spend some more time together, he's like, wait, I actually really like this girl. I like how driven she is. I really want to help her. And then as they spend more time together, you know, lines do be crossing. But it's a slow burn. I loved it. There's some scenes where like, you know, they get so close. It just doesn't happen. But I loved it. I loved every single second of it. I had such a good time with it. I love her writing. I just feel like she story tells really well. For it being a romance book and like sports romance, you know, you don't really think, like, I think she does such a great job of having like character driven stories. Like, I love Lennon. Like, she is so cool in my mind, you know? Like, I would love to be her. Could I be athletic at all? No, absolutely not. But if I could be, I would love to be her. Then I read Say You'll Remember Me by Abby Jimenez. I read this for a book club, and I read this book 4 stars. Who does this even follow? Let's find out. This follows, oh yes, Xavier and Samantha? Yeah, Xavier is a vet. I'm almost positive he's a vet. Yeah, okay, so Xavier is a vet, and she ends up finding this kitten. I think it's a kitten who is sick, and he's like, no, dude, put it down. It's not worth it. And she's like, no, I'm gonna raise some money. And she does, and she comes back, and she's like, I told you, he's all fixed, the animal, whatever it is. And he's like, oh my god, that's so crazy. Let's go on a date. So they do, and they have a great time, basically fall in love that day, and then she dips. She leaves. She gets on a plane, and she has to go back home because she's dealing with some family stuff. And he's like, I can't let this woman go. So they're gonna do like some long distance stuff, and they're gonna kind of figure out their relationship through that. I thought it was cute. I had fun with it. It wasn't that hard hitting for book club, you know? I mean, just kind of what Samantha goes through is kind of what we talked about for more majority of it. But I love her writing. I think her stories are so much fun. I think I flew through this one. Yeah, it was a good time. That sounds up your alley. Check it out. Then I finished the Edge of Darkness trilogy with Restitution by Lee Rivers, and I rated this book 4.75 stars. And I can't really tell you much about it. It's obviously a continuation of Stacy and Cade. I was like, don't you mess that up. Oh, I love it. The more I think about this series, the more I love it, and then sometimes when I think about it, the more I hate it. And I don't mean like hate as in like I would never read it, but I don't know where I was going with that, to be honest with you. I mean, I liked it. So basically it follows Cade and Stacy's story from when they were children to when they are where they are now. A lot of stuff happens. Search up your triggers because it is dark, it's rough, it's insane. There are so many scenes that like I get goosebumps thinking about just like what the characters go through, and not just like the two main characters. Like, there's a few other ones in there that I'm like, rough. And it's basically just their life. Something really traumatic happens and they end up hating each other, and now they're gonna try to like kind of work together still while fighting their feelings for each other. It's insane. Like, there's so many scenes that are still like live rent free in my head, and I think if you like a darker romance, and when I'm saying darker, I mean like it's dark. I think you would really enjoy this story. But be warned, it's like, I'm not gonna say. No, I'm cutting it off right there. Then I finished off my month with All In by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I think this is the 3rd in her Natural series. Yes. And again, you're following Cassie and kid FBI agents, basically think Criminal Minds. I think I say this every single time I talk about this book. You need to read it. If you like Criminal Minds, you are going to eat these books up. So this one, it takes place in Vegas, and there is a murder, is that the word I'm looking for, that happens, and they're going to try to figure out if it's a serial killer, if they're connected, if other things are going on, while some personal stuff is going on with Cassie. So I'm gonna say I loved it. I had a great time with it. I rated it 4.25 stars. Don't know if I said that, but it's so good. It's fast paced. I feel like the chapters are short. You always get like a POV of like the unsub, I guess you could say. I'm almost positive. Yeah, and so good. So those were the 8 books I read in June. Let's go over the 9 books that I read in July. July now. And I started off my month reading Rebel Witch by Krista Cicerelli. This is the second one in her Crimson Maw duology, and it's basically a game of cat and mouse between a witch and a witch hunter. I also rated this book 4 stars. Again, I don't know if I said that. So basically this is obviously a continuation, so I can't tell you where the story kind of leaves off. Book 1 does leave on a cliffhanger, and this picks up like immediately after that. So basically you're just following the witch and the witch hunter. She is like a fake socialite, or like not a fake, because she's like up there, like she's doing the thing, but she's like kind of playing a role because she's a witch in hiding, and he is a witch hunter trying to figure out who this like Crimson Maw person is. And basically that's the gist of the story. There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a huge plot twist that happens at the end of this that I was shocked by, and I thought it was a great continuation of the story. I think it is a perfect little duology that keeps you on the edge of your seat. I think it's YA fantasy as well, so you know me, I love a good YA fantasy book, so if you like it too, this is the book for you. Then I got an Elk in Van's Listener copy of The 4 Rings of Sybil Rain. No, The 4 Engagement Rings of Sybil Rain by Hannah Brown. Lord have mercy. And I rated this book 4 stars. So this follows our main character. Don't ask me her. Oh, Sybil. Obviously, that's her name. That's her name. Duh. And she ends up going on vacation, I think. And while she's there, she runs into like her ex-fiance, because the girl has been engaged 4 times now, and maybe it's 3 times. And she like runs into like 3 of them at this thing, and each of them has kind of been like for like a reason in her life, I guess you could say. And she's just kind of trying to figure out her life. I mean, I thought it was fun. I loved the audiobook, was great. The narrators were great. I felt immersed in the story. But my only qualm about this, which is obviously this is a serious personal problem only. Truthfully, the only person I could picture as our FMC is Hannah Brown. Like when I was reading, I'm like, I'm watching The Bachelor or Bachelorette all over again. It's basically what it felt like. I don't know if that's why I liked it so much instead of like the actual story. Take that as you will, but you know, I still had a good time with it. We should count how many times I say I had a good time with it. I feel like that's the only ever like descriptor I have for books that like I had a good time with. You know, there's nothing more, there's nothing less. You know, it's not a negative adjective, and it's not like anything groundbreaking, but you know, I had a good time with it, and that's all I got. A book I didn't have a good time with though is what's it called now? Caught Up by Nevessa Allen. I rated this book 3.25 stars. Coming off of Lights Out, I was like, I'm gonna eat this up. No. So I don't even know who this follows. How are we connected in this? I think it's Allie's cousin is our MMC, and then our FMC is like a cam girl. I think that's kind of what she is. They meet because I think he like subscribes to her or something like that, and he ends up like really liking her, but you know, he's in like the mafia world and he's doing a lot of bad things, and she's just kind of living her life, making so much money. Yeah, it is what it is. I did not have a good time with it. Yeah, that's really basically it of it. It just was not a book for me, obviously. Then I got another advanced listener copy of Voice of the Ocean by Kelsey Impecious. I'm saying that so wrong. Okay, because I know this author from her YouTube channel, and Kelsey, she always says it at the beginning of some of her videos. So I basically found her when she did the 100 Baby Challenge on The Sims, and she named her like matriarch Chelsea Impecia K. So I want to say that's her last name, but that's not. It's like a play on words. So that's basically how I found this author, and I was like, ooh, I think I'm gonna really like this. Didn't really end up liking it. I rated 3 stars. This is basically a YA fantasy of The Little Mermaid, and I think I ruined it by listening to it. I don't think the audiobook was for me, because the premise sounds so much fun. Like I love that aspect, because I loved, what is it? It's not Wretched. It's the Emily McIntyre series, whatever. Her like dark Disney romances, and I loved hers where you have like the bad person as like a hero. So like I went into it thinking I was going to like this one too, and it didn't hit how I wanted to. So basically it's The Little Mermaid retelling in a way, and she rescues a sailor and goes in hiding as like a human, but she's a mermaid. That's basically, and then it's going to be them figuring out. I can't remember the plot twist at all right now. Like I don't remember kind of how it ends out. So it wasn't that memorable for me, but you know, it could be an audiobook problem, so I don't know if I might go back and like try to reread it maybe. I would love if it's on Kindle Unlimited, because I don't think it is. I don't know, I might, because I love her, you know, before I put it on my shelf. I love a book on my shelf, you know, so I don't know. Guess we'll see. Then I read Left of Forever by Tara Dewitt. I rated 4 stars, and my sister actually got this for me for my bridal shower gift. And it follows a couple that are high school sweethearts, and they end up divorcing later on in life, and now they're going to go back and drop their son off at college. And while they do this, they're going to take like a little road trip and see if like there's anything left. And it's so cute. I think this is my first book by Tara Dewitt, and I loved it. Like, there was one spicy scene in here. I was salivating. Oh, so hot. I don't think it got to anything crazy, but I was feeling the tension, you know? Like this man, he's down bad. He is down bad, and he has been down bad since he's been like 15, 16 years old, and I love that so much. Like, it's always been him. It's always been her. So good. If you love a marriage on the rocks type of book, well, the marriage is gone, okay? But they're gonna come back together, you know what I'm saying? So, highly recommend this one. This is one out of all these kind of that I recommended so far. I really, really love this one. Then I reread The Match by Sarah Adams, and I rated this book 4 stars. I think I listened to this one again, and this follows our FMC, and I think she has epilepsy, and she has a service dog, and she also helps work at a therapy office, I guess you could say, that helps give service dogs to people or something like that. Our MMC has a little girl who has epilepsy, and she wants therapy dog, so she pretends to be her dad and emails our FMC and is like, hey, let's meet at this coffee shop. I have this color hair, blah, 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 blah. I want to get a dog for my daughter, da, 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 da. And she shows up to the coffee shop, and this little girl convinces her dad to go to the coffee shop at the same time. And she's like, oh, hey, I know you want a service dog. And the dad has no idea, and he's really thrown off by it. He doesn't like it. He doesn't want to be a part of it until, you know, slowly she kind of breaks down his walls. And it's kind of that relationship, and it is so cute. It is so cute. It's so wholesome. I mean, I love the doggies in it. I love the people in it. I love the little girl in it. It's so cute. It's such a good time. Love her writing. And I think I needed just a little something in the middle of the month to kind of break up some of these books. And I feel like this one definitely helped me do that. So for an absolute wild book, I read Thrum by Meg Smitherman, I believe is her name. I read this book 3 stars. So I saw this from one clip on TikTok, and it was just kind of like a few like little sayings that happen in it, and it is wild. So basically, this woman wakes up on her spaceship because she's an astronaut, and she's going to this I don't know where she's going. She's going somewhere far away where she gotta go sleep. And when they wake up, it's like a bunch of light years later. They're like real far. They're in deep, deep space. And she wakes up and her entire crew is dead besides her. And she's like, oh, what do you mean? So she does her little SOS on a little radio thing to see if there's anyone out there. One man answers. And now it is going to be that, because he like comes and finds her, and he's gonna help her in space. It is wild. The ending was insane. Like, it's a short book. It's only like 150 pages, so it's also on Kindle Unlimited, so just go read it. Like, it'll take you like 3 hours, maybe 2, to finish it. Insane. Like, I want to say it's horror erotica, because you don't want it to happen. There's like some CNC in it, I believe, if I'm thinking correctly, and it was a wild time. Then I read Black Ties and White Lies by Kat Singleton. I read this book 4 stars. This is a arranged marriage, billionaire romance. It's also ex-boyfriend's brother. Some of those scenes. The scene on the beach. I love that. I love when there's tension. I love when they shouldn't be doing what they're doing. Oh, it gets me going. So anyways, our FMC, our MMC propositions. Is that the word? I don't think that's the correct term, but we're gonna use it for right now. The FMC to like, be his fiance? I don't think he needs a wife. I think it's fiance. To clean up his image, because he's some big hotshot guy. And he's like, I'll pay you. I don't really know how she gets convinced to do it. What's in it for her? And she ends up saying yes, obviously. And then they have their little fake relationship. I had so much fun with it. This is my first book by Kat, and I loved it. I think I'm gonna go back and continue on with the series. I think there's more in the series, but I think it's interconnected standalone, because I'm almost positive their story, like, I didn't feel like I needed to keep reading anything like else about them, but it was fun. I had a good time. Yeah, I had a good time with it. Then the last book I read in July was The Summer I Turned Pretty by Jenny Han, and I rated this book 3 stars. Okay, listen, it's just so cringy. So this follows our main character, Belly, and every summer she goes to this beach house in Cousins, and there she has these 2 guy best friends who are brothers, and she's in love with one of them. Is that kind of how it goes? She's kind of in love with both of them. We got kind of a little bit of a love triangle going on. And it's just cringy. It's cringy, but it's fun. Okay, like, I read it so fast, but it's not like it's good. So I don't know. I don't know if I should rate it higher or lower, because like I'm gonna continue on with the series, you know. And I watched the season 1 of it, and I was like, the whole time I'm like watching it between my fingers because it's so bad, but it's so good. Thank you, Drain. So like I like it. I'm gonna continue on with it. It just isn't a book that like I think I'm gonna love for the rest of my life, you know. Okay, so those were all the books that I read in July. So let's do our last month. Let's do August. I read 10 books, and I felt like my reading started to pick up towards the end of August, and now in September I think I'm back into it, because there was a slump going on. You know, the ratings were kind of low, the books weren't that great, great. But I feel like August and now into September, it's picking up. So I started off my month by listening to Make Me Yours by Jennifer Suchovit, something like that. And I rated this book 4 stars. This is a hockey romance. This is a best friends to lovers romance. It's a I have nowhere else to go besides here kind of romance. So it follows our FMC, and she ends up finding out that her boyfriend of a long time, maybe possibly fiance, is cheating on her. She walks in on it and she's like, what do you mean, what's going on? So she ends up calling up her best friend, who is a star hockey player, and she's like, hey, I need someplace to stay. I don't know what to do. And he's like, stay with me, I got you. And he's been in love with her already. I'm obsessed. And it's basically just going to be her kind of finding herself, kind of with him and kind of by herself. I thought it was great. The audiobook was so good. Like, I was sucked in immediately. I loved it. It was so hot. I feel like the storytelling was great because this is the first book I've read by her, or like listened, I guess you could say. And I thought it was great. I mean, it was just a good, fun time romance, you know? Then I read Blood of Hercules by Jasmine Mass, and I rated this book 4 stars. This book is so much fun. So this is it YA or new adult? I don't really know. I don't know what new adult means, to be honest with you. I think I made that up. Did I make that up? And it's definitely fantasy, a little bit of Greek mythology mixed in there. It involves our main character, Alexis, and she is in a terrible foster situation at the start of this book. Like, her parents suck. They're terrible. And she ends up finding out that she is like a descendant of Hercules, basically. And she ends up going to this college where she's gonna fight all these other like magical beings or like kids of magical people. And she's like, what is going on with this? You know, it's insane to her. And there she's gonna go through all like the trials of school, stuff like that. And it is so much fun. I mean, she had me cackling. She is one of the funniest FMCs I've read about all year. Her quick wit, the way she talked to some of these guys, I was giggling. I was kicking my feet. I was having such a great time with it. You know, like, I couldn't put it down. I half read, half listened to it because I couldn't stop. Like, I would be reading in the morning and like have to leave for work. I'm like, I need to continue. So I bought the audiobook because I couldn't help myself. I am super, I don't know when book 2 comes out, but I think it comes out soon-ish. So that's gonna leave off on like a cliffhanger, but I loved it. Okay, I guess she's saying this is a dark romance. Search up your trigger warnings because there's some stuff that goes on. This book is dedicated to all the girls who like morally gray fictional men and who screamed out loud the first time they read Who Did This to You. This one's for you. Highly recommend this one. Highly recommend this one. Another one that I highly recommend. We have Rewind It Back by Liz Tomford. I rated this book 5 stars, obviously. And this follows our 2 main characters, Rio and Hallie. And they are neighbors when they're kids. And they basically fall in love. And then something happens that breaks them apart. And now it's a few years later, and now they're neighbors again. Basically. And it is so, so good. Rio. Some of his one-liners in here. The shower scene. I was just kicking my feet, having a good old time with it. And it's so good. It was the perfect ending, I think, to her Windy City series. I think she portrayed Rio so well. I think she did such a great job with Hallie. I love these 2 characters. I feel like you can really feel it between the 2 of them. Like, all of her books, they're like directly behind me. I feel like real people. Like, they are some of my favorite book characters of all time. And I feel like this one was no different. I was really scared to read this one because there were a few kind of mixed reviews from some of my friends. And I was like, what if I hate it? But I ended up loving it. And I'm so glad I did. It's so good. Read it. Read the entire Windy City series right now. Then one that I thought I was going to love but ended up not really liking that much, I have Cash by Jessica Peterson, and I rated this book 3 stars. I don't know if it was a me problem at the time. I just couldn't get into it. I ended up trying the audiobook too, and I feel like that also kind of ruined it for me. I don't know if I'm going to continue on with the series. So this is basically a small town cowboy romance. Her dad owns this farm, but she's kind of been estranged from him for a while, and he ends up passing away and leaves the farm or the ranch or whatever you want to call it to her. So she's going to go back home basically to this ranch, and there she's going to meet Cash, and Cash has always been like her dad's right-hand man. And she's like, I'm selling this place, and he's like, no, I don't want you to. Like, I love it here. I want it, I believe. Or he can't afford to buy it. I don't know, something like that. And it's going to be them figuring that out. Basically, she's going to kind of come into her root, kind of figure out why small town life is so great. That's basically the gist of it. I mean, it was fine. I just don't know if it's a book that I'm ever gonna think about again. Then I read The Poisoner by Ivy Ophelia, and I read this book 4 stars. So she kills people, basically. She murders people in a hidden way. And he is something. Is he a vampire? No, I don't think he's a vampire. He's some kind of thing that's kind of creepy, kind of weird, has fangs, lurking in the night. He clicks. I half listened to this one too. Almost crashed my car when he did it for the first time. No, actually, that's a lie. I almost did like the second time I heard it. I walked outside as I was listening to it to let the dogs out, and the dude started clicking, and I thought I was being attacked by a cicada. So I was like, what what is going on. Stressed me out. Once I figured it out, I was like, oh, okay, you go off, sir. Do your thing. And basically, they're gonna work together. I don't know why. Why are they working together? They make a pact or something like that. Yeah, I can't really remember, to be honest with you. So, not like I'm going to spoil anything because I don't remember it. But I believe, yes, it does leave off on a cliffhanger, though. So, be prepared for that one. I'm almost positive it's a cliffhanger because I think book 2 comes out sometime in 2026. Again, don't quote me on that. I could be so wrong. But if you like that dark gothic romance, I think this is the book for you. And I feel like it's perfect to read right now, kind of getting into spooky season. Ooh, another one that hurts. So I read Bourbon and Secrets by Victoria Wilder, and I rated this book 3.5 stars. I hate to do it. I hate to do it because it is a single dad romance. She's a burlesque dancer, so she's basically kind of there to kind of stir up some things. They originally meet at the beginning of the book where she's doing something she's not supposed to be doing, and he catches her and he's like, "Get out of my town if I ever see you again." Blah 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 blah. And he's so pressed about her, like he's so upset with her, and I don't think you would figure out why he's like actually super upset until like halfway through the book. Remember, that's why I was so upset, because like in his POV he'd always be like, "I don't like her. She's but wouldn't tell us why. Tell me why. I'm not important in the story. I can know the tea." And I feel like that's kind of why I didn't like it, but I also don't know if it's romantic suspense. That's not it for me. I've only read like 2 or 3, but I'm going to continue on with the series because I feel like I have to. And you know, I love these covers. I can dislike a book, but if I'm going to love the cover, I'm keeping it. I mean, this is stunning. Like, I love having this on my shelf. So hot. I mean, both of them. You know what I'm saying? And that's basically the gist of it. Then I read Dead of Winter by Darcy Coates. So this follows FMC and her boyfriend, I think. Yeah, her boyfriend. And they are on a trip and the bus crashes. Now they're stuck in a cabin and everyone starts dying. There's someone killing all these people. And she's basically there now to fend for herself because, you know, everyone's dying. And they're trying to figure out why someone would be targeting them, basically. Or like, is it part of their group? Is someone hunting them? Is it someone from the cabin? You know, there's a whole bunch of things going on. And that's what I'm going to say without spoiling it. The body horror, insane. The plot twist, I didn't guess. I guess it's kind of out there, but I didn't guess it. I was shocked by it. It kept me on the edge of my seat. I was stressed through like 90% of this book. But I mean, if you want a dark, gritting thriller kind of horror, because I was spooked out during some of it, pick it up. And I believe she writes so many other horror books that I didn't know about. So I think I'm going to continue on kind of reading her stories. They were so good. I mean, the writing was so fast, so definitely recommend. Then I got an Art for Love Arranged by Lauren Asher. I rated this book 4 stars, and this is her 3rd book in her Lakefront Billionaire series, I believe. And this follows, I don't know their name, like a really sweet FMC, and then the MMC is who no one likes, and he's running for mayor, I believe, in the town, and no one likes him. He's kind of mean. He's rough around the edges. He really doesn't really like anyone. And with fair reasoning, though, you know, I get it, I understand. I don't really like personally understand, but like I get it, you know. You know what I'm saying? And in order for him to like kind of clean up his image, he is going to date the town's sweetheart, basically. So it's going to be like a fake dating relationship. I thought it was fun. I thought it was cute. I mean, a man that goes to therapy to like fix himself, we love to see it. I felt like she did a great job of like kind of rounding out the series. I think there's going to be 3 books in this series, and I think she's done with it now. And it was cute, it was sweet. I like her writing. I don't know if I'm going to continue on with any more of her books. I think I've kind of outgrown it for right now. Maybe I'll come back to them later on. But I finished out her backlist, so who knows? Maybe if the next one she writes sounds interesting, I'll probably be picking it up. Then I read That's Not My Name by Megan Lally, and I rated this book 4.25 stars. I was on the edge of my seat. I was stressed. So this follows our main character, Mary, and she ends up being found on the side of the road, bloody, bruised, beaten, insane circumstances, and she's like, I have no idea who I am. Like, I don't even know my name. So the police find her, they take her to the station, and her dad comes and he's like, oh my god, I've been looking for you, Mary. And she's like, who are you? She doesn't remember who he is. And like, he has like her school ID, he's got her birth certificate, everything proves that it's Mary. So she's like, okay, I'll go home with you. However, you're also following a different POV of a guy named Drew, and he gets in a fight with his girlfriend one night, and she storms out of the car, and now she's missing. And the whole town thinks he killed her. But he's like, no dude, I didn't kill her. It's not me. Help me find my missing girlfriend. So you have both of those POVs going on simultaneously. I was so scared. Because like on one POV, you're like, oh my god, is it her? And then on the other POV, you're like, oh my god, it can't be. You know, it's just the back and forth. They were so scary. Like, it was so frightening. It was like, I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Like, I couldn't imagine being her, and I couldn't imagine being him, and how spooked out I was the entire time. Perfect for spooky season. Then I listened to My Favorite Lost Cause by Elizabeth O'Rourke. And I think I rated this book 4 stars. I can't remember now. I didn't even write it down. So we're going to give it 4 stars right now. And this is a forbidden step-sibling romance, basically. So our FMC is with this man, her husband, I believe. And she wants nothing more to be a mom. She just wants to do everything to be a mom, basically. And her husband is basically POS. He sucks. And her brother, cut that. Her stepbrother ends up needing help at his mom's house because his mom dies. And he's going to fix it up. And she's like, oh my God, I'll go with you. Because I don't know if she does something like that. I don't really know. And she ends up going, and there's always kind of been some, like, animosity and, like, tension between the two of them. But obviously they haven't acted on it because they're step-siblings. But listen, they're step-siblings that met when they were older. So it's not like they're babies growing up together. Because, you know, that gets a little creepy, a little weird. But sometimes I still like it. Okay, talk to your mama, not me. Don't judge me. Basically, they're just going to spend some more time together. And she realizes that she doesn't really like the life she's been living. And it's her kind of coming to terms with it. And it's also the MMC coming to terms with some things that, like, he wasn't happy with in his life. And, like, some things that he wants to, like, help and change. And it's them kind of finding it out together. I love it. I had a good time with it. You know, the tension, the fighting it, the, like, we shouldn't really be doing this. Some of the scenes where it's like, the girl is so clueless sometimes. I'm like, that he likes her. Like, oh, obsessed. You know, like a little bit of forbidden, taboo-ish, with it not being, like, so dyed in, because it wasn't like, oh, my stepbrother. Oh, my stepbrother. The only time a stepbrother was even fucking mentioned is when her husband would be like, it's your stepbrother. It's your brother. That's the only time it was brought up. But enough for you to be like, I dig it. Another thing that I dig. So the last book I read in August was Praise by Sarah Kate. Yeah, this is everything I needed. I needed this and a cigarette after it. Let me tell you about it. So this follows our FMC, and she ends up needing money from her boyfriend because he, like, sold a house, sold something. No, an apartment. And he's like, no, my dad has it. So she goes to his dad's house. Never met him. He's some rich guy, and she's waiting in his office. And he walks in. He's like, why are you not on your knees? And she's like, this dude wants me to beg for my money. And a little bit of miscommunication happens, and he thinks she is supposed to be his submissive. Wrong. She's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, oh, I feel so bad. It's so embarrassing for me. I do have a job for you, though. Do you want to be my secretary? Yeah, I think that's what it's called. And she's like, oh my God, yeah. I mean, that's way better than what I'm making right now. Because she's kind of helping her sister. She's helping her mom. You know, they're kind of, it's just those three, you know. When she does that, she realizes kind of what he does. Because he owns the Salacious Players Club, which is basically a sex club. And she's like, hey, I kind of want to know more about this. And he's going to help her with that. Ah! Yes, delicious. Ex-boyfriend's dad. Scrumptious. Sweating. I mean, if you want spice, this is done so well. And I believe they're all on Kindle Unlimited. I'm most positive because I'm reading the entire series because they are just that good. Highly recommend. So, those were the 27 books I read in the past 3 months. I have no idea how long this is going to be, so if you've stuck around this long, thank you so much. If you've read any of these books, let me know. If you were going to put any of these on your TBR, also let me know. I have neglected my wrap-up videos so much. I've honestly neglected this account a little bit. I mean, I just feel like I've been really, really busy, but now I think everything's kind of slowing back down, and I'm getting back into reading more. I'm getting back into creating more things, and I'm, like, falling in love with it all over again. So, as always, thank you so much for watching today's video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next one. Love yous!